clock is winding down in the contentious mayoral primary battle for the Big Apple. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo spent weeks at the top of the pack of the Democrats, but progressive candidate Zohran Mamdani might just pull off what would be a stunning defeat of Cuomo. Mamdani is winning the final round of ranked choice voting with 52% to Cuomo's 48%. This is according to the final poll ahead of today's primary.
Ranked choice voting is an election method in which voters rank their candidates in order of preference. So that allows second, third and fourth preference votes to matter as the lowest polling candidates are eliminated. If a candidate wins more than 50%, then they win. If not, the process repeats until that happens for someone. In this survey, Cuomo topped Mamdani on round one with 36% versus 34%. But the model showed that after 8 rounds, then Mamdani surpassed Cuomo and got over the line by a narrow 51.8 to 48.2%. New York City Comptroller Brad Lander remains in third, and he made it to the 7th round with 20.1%. Out of 11 candidates, whoever wins Tuesday will face off against incumbent Mayor Adams in November, who's running as an independent, I believe. Cuomo has stated that even if he loses, he'll run against Adams in November, Cuomo himself running as an independent.
Mamdani and Lander joined forces by cross-endorsing each other, urging their supporters to rank the other candidate second. Social media has lit up. UAW endorsed Mamdani on Monday. The union posted in X, quoted, saying, UAW President Fain and our New York City members are proud to support Zohran K. Mamdani. He's not owned by Wall Street. He's fighting for $30 an hour, free transit, housing for all, and real democracy on the job and in our communities. Rank Zohran number 1 for New York City mayor on election day. Former Nevada congressional candidate Tom Lane posted, quote, DSA-backed socialist Zohran Mamdani is now leading Andrew Cuomo in the New York City mayoral ranked choice primary. Let that sink in. A guy who wants to defund the NYPD is beating a former governor. This is what happens when the far left hijacks a city. And that is Tony Lane, not Tom Lane, excuse me.
No problem. Can I just get in briefly on that point, hijacks a city? The only way the far left will hijack a city is if the people of that city vote for the far left candidate. This is this propensity of Republicans or people on the right to also talk about Democrat-run cities. Cities are run by Democrats if the residents of those cities vote for Democrats. So let's, that sort of language, I think, is unnecessarily intended to scare.
Going to win if he wins the election, he wins the election, and New York City can get the socialist policies it wants and I think deserves. I don't care. I don't live there. It's no skin off my back. And I also dislike Andrew Cuomo so much and find him completely unacceptable as a choice to lead New York City after the horrific things he did as governor of the state, presiding over not just a disastrous nursing home COVID policy that resulted in needless death, but then covering it up to satisfy his own ego, to sell more books, ordering staff members allegedly to disguise the number of to conceal
the death toll,
and then in addition to what he actually resigned over, which was numerous sexual misconduct accusations. To my mind, that was far less serious. Not saying it's not serious, but less serious in character than the real bad other stuff. But fine, whatever. You don't have to rank them. For a variety of reasons, I find him unfit to return to office. So I don't know what I would do in this. Well, I know what I would do. I would just rank someone else because there's a million people running and you get to vote for up to 5. How nice.
Yeah.
I think Mamdani, as far as the far left goes, is a perfectly good, appealing rep. He seems like a nice man. I like his advertising. I don't have anything against him on a personal level. I actually do find it interesting that on some of his policies, it's not that he's run away from the left, but he has certainly not used the off-putting rhetoric of the left on police and criminal justice issues. He specifically said, no, we will not defund the police. We are going to have robust public safety. That's very important. I think it's telling that he knows that that's a real loser in terms of the left's package of ideas. I don't love a lot of his other plans. In particular, he seems against the kind of the New York school system where you have you have separate schools for more advanced learners, separate programs like that. He is an enemy of that system or has spoken out against it. I think changing the system away from that would be very, very bad. I think promoting better abled students into environments and classrooms where they are with their peers and can succeed is a fine and good thing for a public school system to do. So again, I am not a huge fan of his policies, but if he wins, you know what? That's what the mainstream middle liberal Democrats deserve for going with a man who presided over such a disaster, is what I would say.
Yeah, look, there are appealing parts of Mamdani's platform as well. You know, the free buses idea has really captured the public imagination, and I think that'd be a very good idea. There's also this idea of having a government-run grocery store in each borough, which I like and you will no doubt loathe. No. And I think that it is a good idea to try to keep prices down and to keep food affordable for New Yorkers, the minimum wage, which was mentioned in the UAW, all of those things, UAW endorsement, all of those things have got, I think, some support. Andrew Cuomo is, to my mind, a very, very flawed candidate. The sexual misconduct stuff, yes, it never resulted in criminal charges, but I think the number of, I would say, credible or plausible allegations against him, I think, is troubling. And I do share your views of his conduct in relation to COVID and the nursing homes because it looked to me like he was just flat out lying in many of the instances. So if he loses, I will not be shedding any tears at all. If Mamdani wins on his, free buses and free Palestine kind of platform, I will not object to that. The cynic in me, or not even cynic, but the world-weary side of me thinks that the machine politician often wins. I know we read out the results of that poll with Mamdani edging it. I still think Cuomo might ultimately prevail in the end.
Well, and even if Mamdani wins the nomination, Cuomo might enter the general election as an independent. Eric Adams will then still be. That would become a very interesting three-way race at that point. Eric Adams also someone with a lot of flaws, a lot of baggage, accusations of corruption as well.
Absolutely. Up next, is Tulsi Gabbard still a key player within Trump world? Comedian Tim Dillon questions her position as Israel-Iran tensions continue to roil the region.